In the last 5 years, there's been only 4 players that have won 4 or more Elite Series or major events in a single season. It's not difficult to guess these names. We've got Ricky Wysocki, Paul McBeth, Eagle McMahon, and our newest addition, Simon Lizotte, with his remarkable win at the 2022 MVP Open. I share this to try to contextualize what Simon's done this season. It's hard to recognize history when it's presently being made, but there is no question. Simon Lizotte's 2022 season has been nothing short of historic, and his hometown win at the MVP Open was his most unlikely of them all. Finishing his first 2 rounds 2 strokes over par, coming into the final round 6 strokes off of the leader, and finally victory from the chase card, which hasn't been done in over 2 years. Simon's win aside, Maple Hill this year produced one of the most competitive, explosive, and heartbreaking tournaments of 2022. Let's talk about it. I'm Mason with Heiserflight, and thank you as always for your time. These videos take quite a bit of work, and if you enjoy them, it would mean a ton if you could support my channel by subscribing. Thank you so much. Let's get into it. So the MVP Open was upended by thunderstorms on Thursday, resulting in a canceled round for the MPO, along with a cancellation of the cut line. I won't spend too much time on hypotheticals, but I can only imagine what would have happened if this tournament had gone 4 rounds instead of 3. Something tells me that Ricky Wysocki or Paul McBeth might have had more time to make a push, but we'll never know. I love Maple Hill. On top of being one of the most beautiful properties in disc golf, it's, in my mind, the most balanced course on the Pro Tour. There's more open holes like 1 and 14 where galleries can watch a disc fly from tee pad to green, but Maple Hill also has some of the most technical wooded disc golf that's played all year. Perfect courses should reward controlled distance on some holes and technicality on others, and Maple Hill does both, and does both well. Another underrated aspect of this property is its memorability. When I think of Waco or Emporia Country Club, for example, there's 2 or 3 holes that pop into my mind as signature holes, but with Maple Hill, there's almost too many to count. Too many chances for strokes to be made or lost, chances for legacies to be made. Simon started Sunday with UDisc putting him at a 3% chance to win the tournament. I would have probably said that's high, especially because it seemed like there was 20 other people in contention in round 3. McBeth was putting together a hell of a streak, and Linus Karlsson would get a stroke on the field, and then Gannon Buhr would have a tap-in birdie, and on the next hole, Corey Ellis would drain a putt for a stroke, and Ricky Wysocki was making a push, and all the meanwhile, Simon Lizotte was quietly putting together the back 9 of his career. This weekend, he joined the likes of Dave Felberg and Paul McBeth as the only 3 players to win from a 6 or more stroke deficit in the final round of an Elite Series or major event. That is historic. Simon deserves all of the praise for his win. I talked a lot about his change in style entering the 2022 season in the video I made about his win at the Des Moines Challenge, so I'll leave it at that. With the mountaintop that Simon Lizotte sits upon, there is always the opposing valley. Man, I hurt for Corey Ellis. Credit to the Disc Golf Network for showing that heartbreaking shot of Ellis in the clubhouse after his putt on 18. It was a moment of fantastic storytelling when compared against the chance of Simon happening right outside. I won't make a single excuse for Corey because honestly, he let it slip through his fingertips, but I think that's why it makes it all the more difficult. He played so well this weekend, and I have to emphasize the fight and perseverance he displayed in the final round. Ellis was 3 over through 7, while the likes of McBeth and Buhr were catching fire, and I honestly began to count him out, and others did too. But Corey Ellis would not go quietly, and he put up 8 birdies in the final 11 holes, culminating in some of the most beautiful drives of the tournament on 16 and 18. I think that honestly, nerves got the better of him on his second shot in 18, but Ellis has proven that he can rise to the occasion. Just like he did at D-Glow this year, dragging Calvin Heinberg to a playoff that he lost, like his drop zone putt this weekend, by inches. I'm absolutely gutted for Corey, but I'm not worried because he will be back and his eventual win will be all the more sweeter. Someone that did not get talked enough about this weekend was Linus Karlsson. He played some of the smoothest and most consistent disc golf at Maple Hill with one of the lowest OB rates in the field. He was one shot away himself, but like Corey, I think that nerves got the best of Linus on 18. It's still mind-boggling to me to remember that Linus and Corey both needed just a par on 18 to force a playoff with Simon, and neither of them could do it. The Europeans in general had a great showing at the MVP Open. I think that these more technical, wooded courses that we encounter in the back half of the season suit the European play style more. And I think that with a year of experience behind them, some of these young European up-and-comers like Linus and Niklas Antila will be a genuine threat for titles come 2023. The season has nearly reached its conclusion, and while we still have more disc golf to play, we have a Player of the Year up for grabs still, and a major still to be decided, I'm already starting to look back on some of the best tournaments that we were able to witness this year. This will be a video for the offseason, but the 2022 MVP Open will be near the top of my list. Simon Lizotte has done it again in a nail-biter for the ages. I'm so excited to see what can happen in these final two events of the year. Thank you so much for watching. I really, truly appreciate it. Until the next one.